What's up, everybody? It is your girl Keisha from Put Your Phone Down podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, you know I always got to do my little greeting. I'm on, I believe this is episode 25. I'm so excited about this. Season three has been a complete blessing to me. And without any further ado, I just want to tell anybody if you have a dream, if you have a business, if you have anything that you may want to talk about, hit me up, y'all. I mean, this podcast has really been a blessing in disguise for me, and I wanted to do the same for you. Now, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm getting my babies on the line. I'm getting my babies on the line because they have a voice too. Right now, I have a special guest. I have Miss Kayla Marie as my guest, and Kayla has a story for you all. But before Kayla begins to tell her story, guys, I always have to give people their flowers. And I spoke to Kayla first time yesterday, and I was wowed with the things that she has been through and how she continues to step into whatever God has created her to be. I'm just amazed because a lot of people could not and would not want the trials and tribulations that she's faced. But I'm going to tell you all again, before she starts her story, she is more, way more than what she is to talk about. What she's to talk about is to bring awareness to you all. But this girl is bad to the bone. She is a college graduate, number one. So that means she's educated, fly to the bone. Sent me these pictures, and I was like, okay, this girl is going places. Social media influencer, daughter. She sound like a dog mom. I heard the baby in the background. So if you all hear the baby in the background, the baby just speaking. I mean, the list goes on and on. And when I tell you, it was only yesterday that I got a chance to speak to her. And I am also going to speak a public speaker into her life because once she tells this story, you all, that girl go set the world on fire. That's why the title is This Girl is on Fire. I hope you got my flowers, Kayla. Welcome to Put Your Phone Down podcast.
Hey, everybody. Thank you again for having me.
No, thank you for hopping on. So, Kayla, we're not going to, hold nobody up as far as, slow talking. I just kind of want you to dive straight into um this syndrome that you spoke about. We spoke about the other day. I had never heard of it, but I know that you said you're in a group and it's people that have it. But it's not a lot of people that talk about this. So go ahead and let everybody know this story.
Okay. Well, it's a chronic illness called cyclic vomiting syndrome. I originally got it in 2000 and maybe like 2012, 2013ish. It stemmed from my imbalanced hormones, which is connected like to my cycles or whichever. So every single month, I'm in the hospital throwing up for maybe about 3 to 5 days and just getting stuck with IVs. Like I've had terrible veins just because of how much I have to get an IV. Like my arms, I totally can't get an IV in my arm. Like my veins are terrible there. So they have to go like maybe in my hands, my neck. It's been like maybe in my upper arm towards my armpit. So maybe really just everywhere. A lot of tests, a lot of everything that doctors and hospitals can possibly do. But there's no cure for it. No cure at all. You just got to go to the hospital, to the emergency room, and just treat the symptoms. Now I deal with it once a month. Sometimes it's lucky to skip a month. Ironically, it skipped the month of October. Hopefully it does the same for November because I'm trying to eat Thanksgiving, so that's very important. But it's people that deal with it, if not every week, then every day. And I can't imagine, shout out to those people who are actually dealing with it every day because I could not. Like, I believe that this sickness has caused a lot more on me than just physical. It's mental things that I deal with as well, as far as like, just because it's not just about me and like what I go through, but it's about the people that take care of me as well. So it's just like you feel like a burden. You feel like someone always has to just be with you. Like you can't even do like solo trips because it's like, what if I get sick and no one's there to help, you know? So it's just a world, a wind of just stress, basically. But for me, what causes my sickness is anything under the sun, really. So stress, lack of sleep, it can be a bad food. And I wouldn't even say a bad food because it's like right now I can sit here and I can have like 3 tacos full of like lettuce, sour cream, cheese, all that. I had 3 tacos today, be fine. But like next week, if it's around the time where I'm supposed to get sick, if I have 3 tacos, those 3 tacos can send me to the hospital. So it's like I can't really live a normal life. You know, I have to, and even if I get too excited, like I remember last year, my girlfriend surprised me with a birthday trip to Jamaica. And literally the night before, I felt a little nauseous. I was like, okay, let me calm down. You know, I'm too excited. You know, this is my first time out the country. And it was a birthday trip. Like, this is going to be so fun, whatever. Get to the airport. I was constantly throwing up. Like maybe if not every 10 minutes, every 15, 20 minutes, I was throwing up. They said, ma'am, you can't get on the plane. Like we're not about to allow you to go out the country, especially because, you know, COVID low key is still around, but not around. So it's like everybody, you know, taking these precautions. So yeah, I couldn't even go to Jamaica. I wasted a trip. And I felt so bad. And this is where it turns mental for me. Like I felt so bad. Like I felt like I had to repay her everything, you know, because it's like it's my fault that we couldn't go. So it's just literally I call it like fake pregnancy symptoms. Like if I can't really do nothing, like can't get too excited, can't get too stressed. I gotta keep a important sleep schedule, which my sleep schedule is terrible right now. Like I wake up in the middle. If I wake up like by 3 a.m., I'm not the one to go back to sleep. I'll stay up until like it's time for me to work or clock in or whatever. So it's just, you know, a lot that falls under the umbrella of the cyclic vomiting syndrome. So
And it does sound like a lot, you know. I'm just listening, and it's so many ways we can go with this. You know, I just kind of want to stick to something that we spoke about yesterday because I think so. One thing that I wanted to kind of stick on um, is something that we talked about yesterday. And I know that you mentioned the friendships. You know, I want to know how overwhelming that can be when you are, you know, you're young. So when I was clubs and things of that nature, not even thinking about anything like that. But I also went through a slew of friends. Can we talk about what that's like to have the friendships and, like you said, to have to counsel certain situations? Like, what is that space like?
I definitely, due to my circumstances, I definitely cherish the friends that I do have, cherish the friends that understand like what I go through because I'm only 26, like, and I got this sickness when I was like 15. So um it's like people are not obligated to take care of me the way my mama would take care of me. You know, I can't look for that in a friend. However, it's just I have to be careful about who I choose to do things with because like I mean I'm not gonna lie, like I do go I do go out to clubs, I do, you know, still try to kick it, still try to party. So especially, and what's crazy is, believe it or not, liquor never sends me into a sickness episode. And I know how crazy that sounds, but I will get sick off food before a shot, you know. But now I do get, you know, nauseous, like if I get too drunk, you know, like any other normal person. But I just have to be careful about who I decide to do things with, because there have been times where I've gotten sick and, people have, I'm not going to say left me for dead, but, you know, just not understood, I guess, the seriousness of what happens. Like when I get sick and when I get to a certain point of the sickness episode, I literally can't do for myself. I'm stuck in a fetal position. If I'm in an airport, I'm always like in a wheelchair with a vomit bag. Like I get to a point where I can't do for myself because it hurts. Everything hurts because after so many times you throw up, the muscles hurt. Now I'm in pain. It went from
Right.
nausea to pain. So it's
Right.
just,
Yeah.
yeah, you just gotta be careful, or just be careful with people you trust. I'm very cautious just with things that, I've been through previously with friends, and once again, like friends aren't obligated to take care of me at all, but those friends that do take care of me, those friends that do understand, those are the ones that I'm around the most for obvious reasons.
Yeah. Shout out to the real ones, because it is, I can only imagine that that's
Hmm.
one thing, and like you said, just in my day to day, if I have vomited, like you said, them stomach muscles get tight,
Hmm.
but that's me just going throughout my day. What you're talking about is that it's coming, you're hoping that it doesn't come,
Yeah.
and you just got to move accordingly, So I want to talk about though. Hmm. Now we know you said the liquor go down smooth, okay? But do you dabble in the weed section of the lifestyle? And if you do, Kayla, does it help? Let's talk about the little cannabis, the little weed. Does it help you out a little bit?
Now, I ain't gonna lie. For my friends that know me, they probably laughing right now because definitely. Like, what's crazy is if I get sick or whatever, or not even get sick, if I feel nauseous or if I feel like a sickness episode is approaching, after, I smoke or whatever, it goes away. Like it goes away. My stomach does a complete 180. Now, sometimes it does a 180 and then it turns back around maybe tomorrow or the next day. And sometimes it like pushes off the episode for another week or something like that. So it's very important to me because even I've had like an ER doctor refer me to like, it was like a medical cannabis something, because they say, because, and this is what I hate. Oh my God, this is what I hate. Every time I go into the ER or whatever, they do a little drug test, whatever. Not really a drug test, but just testing for whatever. And they be like, yep, she smokes. That's the reason why she got this. And it's like, no, I got this when I was 15. I wasn't smoking at 15. You know what I'm saying? This is connected to my hormones. Like they don't be trying to, once they figure out that you smoke weed, they don't be trying to hear nothing, because it's this sickness. They call it like the pot belly. It's called
Mm-hmm.
like cannabis something, but it's a cannabis sickness. And it's like, that's not me, So that irritates me when I don't even got a chance to talk to the doctor when he comes in, because it's like, do you know that maybe weed is the cause of you being in the hospital right now? And I'm like, do you know that if I had a blunt right now, maybe I wouldn't be in the hospital? So
You better tell them, doctors, okay?
yeah, so it's like, and I just hate when people well, not even people, it's a internal feeling. Like when I feel like I need it whenever I'm nauseous, like whenever I'm with my girl, I'll be like, can you roll? Like I'm feeling nauseous or whatever. It makes me feel like crackheadish, but it's all for a good reason. Like once I smoke, I'll be okay. So it's definitely a
Yeah.
big factor for me.
And I'm gonna do some shout out to the weeds because I've known certain people, who have, let's say, migraines or, anything, vertigo, and they'll light one up and they like, damn, I feel better. So, I
It
think
helps
it's
for a
some,
lot of things.
yeah, it do. Yeah, it do. Yeah. Yes, it does. Okay. I ain't gonna hold nobody, but I wanted to know also, when you get the munchies. So okay, it helps in one way, but can you eat without it making you feel any type of way?
So that would be on me at that point. Like if I smoke or whatever, and then if I smoke because I'm nauseous and then I feel hungry, I'll just like eat some soup or something small that's not gonna upset my stomach. Something not nothing too heavy. Because what I've noticed is that I get nauseous every time I eat steak. And you know how you can grow like a food allergy? Not saying I'm allergic, of course, but I'm just saying like how you grow and things like the same food you ate as a child or a teenager, or whatever, may not be good for you as an adult.
Right.
So I think that's what is coming like with steak, like because no matter if it's T-bone, ribeye, filet mignon, whatever, that red meat I think is too heavy for my stomach at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's another thing with the sickness, like I think foods are changing for me. So I'm realizing what I can and can't eat because I went to a nutritionist and I tried to get like a blood, you know how they say you can do a blood test and figure out what foods is good for you and what's bad for you or whatever. And yeah, they said that's not accurate. So I was like, okay, great. Well, but she said like for people with my sickness it's better to like go through different diets, and with me I like meat, so I can't really just go vegetarian or vegan or pescatarian. Like yes, those would probably be beneficial, but it's just so hard. Like I need somebody to do it with me, to be honest, and hold
No,
me
and
accountable.
that's real talk. That's real talk. I mean, I kind of easing into vegetarianism, and look, sometimes look, I like a good old chicken wing, so I get it. Like, I do get it. Do you think um I follow Tabitha Brown, and I know
Hmm.
that you and her both don't have the same disease or anything, but she was sick for a long time to the point she said she was just writing out her will. And if it wasn't for her tapping into just being a vegan, just trying it out, I don't think she would have dealt with the things she was dealing with. Do you think
Oh wow.
being a vegan would help? Because part of her thing was once she gave up the meats, um, everything she was feeling, she was dealing with headaches and everything, it went away. So, do
Mm.
you think something like this would help? You think?
And that's a good question because I actually didn't know that about Tabitha Brown. I just thought she was vegan because vegan was. I ain't gonna say I thought she was vegan because vegan was in style, but I thought she was just a big advocate for vegan. But I didn't know her story behind it. But when I hear stories like that, it does motivate me to want to change my diet because I'm going through all this every month, and if it's something as small as changing my diet, then it's like, all right, then. But it's just I don't think I'm mature enough because it's like, especially around Thanksgiving time, to be vegan.
Hmm.
That gotta be crazy. Like you not eating ham, turkey, greens, and it's like vegan gets deeper than just meat. So it's like no dairy. I love sour cream. I love cheese. Like it just gets deeper for me. So I don't know. Like it's very hard. But to hear that, it does like got me thinking. Has me thinking about maybe at least trying vegetarian at least because I think vegetarians still eat dairy products. I think.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
do. And I mean, and I can respect that.
Mhm.
You want to keep your
Yeah, I'm
normalcy.
just honest about it. Like,
That that's what it is. It's about being honest, and if you do try it, like I think she started being a vegan just off of a challenge. And she noticed within like a week or two, because I think her thing was she was gonna go back to meat, but once she realized, she wasn't feeling as sick. But everything is a trial base shit. You try it, and if you be like, this ain't for me, then it is what it is. But
mm,
I do like the fact that you are so open and transparent about this, because it's not a lot of people who know what this is. And one of the things we talked about was I wanted you to put not necessarily a face, but I did want you to bring awareness to the front of it. Now, you mentioned that it's a lot of people that deal with this, and there is a support group and things of that nature. So, I guess what I would ask next is what would be, I know everybody is different, but for the listeners, what would you think would be a telltale sign that they need to go to the doctor if they are kind of throwing up every now and again and they're not taking it as seriously. What are some signs that you deal with that would kind of lead them to say, okay, look, I need to go get checked out?
Um, we're really just the consistent nausea feeling. Like it's not normal, especially if you're not pregnant or whatever, because you literally get morning sickness sometimes. Like sometimes I wake up, feeling, nauseous. So I would really just say the if you frequently just get nauseous, especially if it's not because of food, like if you just get randomly nauseous, it could be to stress or whatever. I would just say get checked out because that's my main symptom. I don't really deal with like headaches or back pain, muscle pain, or anything. The only pain I deal with comes from the strain of continuously, throwing up. So, yeah, just if you just feel like a lot of nausea or if you just get sick a lot, and get sick meaning like vomit.
Right. So before we get into like this, the other side of life, the fabulous life, the social media influence life, I want to ask, and I think that this is important too. I wanted to shed a light on something that you mentioned earlier. It is heavy on the mental, and I want to know, what do you do to keep your spirits up?
Honestly, I just try to keep myself active, meaning like when I'm by myself, that's when I feel it the most. So I always try to plan things just so I can have something to look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what excites me, like planning trips, planning eventful things. Like I have so much to do at the end of the year that I ain't even thinking about. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm not thinking about my sickness, but yeah, I try to just create as many distractions as I can. And right now I'm in a process of moving or whichever. So I'm good for the rest of the year, but it's like I overthink a lot, and the type of thinker I am, I'm thinking, okay, well, what about January? What's gonna happen? But like I said, I mean the sickness skipped last month. So I mean now if it skips November, I think my mindset will probably be more positive about it because I am on I tried two new things since August. My GI specialist here had prescribed this medicine called a Prepercent for me. And I think it's just now, adjusting in, and I think it's working. It's very expensive. Because it's technically for chemo patients. Like the instructions say, like take 1 hour before chemo or whichever. Of course, it's different for me because thank God I don't have cancer. But yeah, it's that strong, and that's why it's so expensive. Like out of pocket, without GoodRx or anything, I think the box is like $1,000 without
Ooh.
GoodRx, and with GoodRx, I was paying like around 180 per box, and each box has 3 pills. So you paying $180 for 3 pills.
Ooh, girl.
Exactly. Like yeah.
Uh-uh.
And the sickness becomes financial too.
Look, shout out to OnlyFans, because girl, what we doing? Okay. What we
Right.
doing?
Right. And then I also got on, or my um who are he? Oh yeah, my gynecologist put me on the IUD because it was proven before. Like I got it in 2012 by like and they put me on the depot birth control, which you get like I think I used to get it like every 3 months. I want to say it was a shot. So
Hmm.
and that actually kicked out the sickness for like maybe 3 years. But it was blowing me up. Like that was the biggest I ever was in my life. I was like 230 pounds. It was just terrible. So I got
Yeah.
off of it. But a year after I got off of it, it was like 2017 and came back like June 2017. And ever since June 2017, I've been in the hospital every single month. And I think it only skipped a month, maybe like 5 times if I can count on my hand. But yeah, so I tried the IUD now. I got that in August, and then this new medicine, the Prepercent. So I think those are working because it skipped October. So we're gonna pray for November, and yeah, just keep positive thoughts and whatever. Because I am
Yeah.
a Debbie Downer about it. Like I'm not even gonna lie. Like Yeah. So
I mean, you know what? Honestly, I can see that, and what we want is for you to have better days. You know what I'm saying? Like that is my hope that, although I don't know much about it, and I do thank you so much for educating me and the listeners, I do hope that, it goes away. That is something that um, you can outgrow, or you look up and you're not doing it as often. So that's our hope, to just kind of bring awareness. And I love that they have you on different medications, because it sounds like it's helping, and you're open to it, even though it's costly. I
hmm
love the fact that you are open to it. So, let's continue to bring awareness to this so people can join in. We stronger together. It's like more people talk about it,
yeah, and I want
more
the people.
awareness.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say I want the people who got it as well to listen, to see, like, maybe go to your GI specialist or whichever specialist you go to, and maybe say, hey, have you ever looked into a Prepperton, or maybe have you ever looked into the IUD for the females? So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what's crazy is it's a myth. I don't know if anybody else who has CVS heard this myth, but it's a myth that says, for females, the sickness goes away once you get pregnant. And I'm like, I thought that's when the sickness will probably like increase, because morning sickness, whatever, whatever. But it's been a couple people in the group I'm in on Facebook that says, like, yeah, they don't have any sickness at all. It's like it goes away even after giving birth. But it's like, I'm not about to sit here and have a kid. Just
Do it, girl.
no, I'm
Do
not gonna do
it.
it.
But you know what? I was actually going to say that because, I don't have children, but, the majority of my friends do. And I mean, when I tell you, even something, as the sniffles, they'll say, well, once I had such and such, I don't have that anymore.
Mhm.
I have heard that. So I wouldn't be shocked or surprised that, when and if, okay, you get yourself some little pound town going on. You it's not there anymore. I had to mention that. What up, Lisa? I
Ah,
had to mention that.
I'm not going to Pound Town. Me and my girl would have to go. That would be a very expensive process to try to get pregnant.
Hey, anything is possible. I mean, we got the brat and we got Judy, so
Yeah.
anything is possible. We need some beautiful babies up out of you though. So we just go, whoever get pregnant, we just need some beautiful babies up out of here. Okay. So let's move forward to the social media space. You're an influencer. You have the handles, the social media handles. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool. My main following is on TikTok, and that's mainly because of Mocha. I am a dog mom. She's my fur baby, Mocha Marie. I rescued her last July, so she's about 1.5 now. But we went famous on TikTok really because I was just cursing her out, like the whole, like, she has a big personality, like even to this day. It's just she's just huge. She's a pit rock bulldog and American Staffordshire Terrier mix.
Ooh,
Yeah, so she has a lot of aggressive breeds in her.
I've
But
never even heard of all of that before. So it sound dangerous.
no, but she's the sweetest ever. Like, and she's a brindle coat, so she's very beautiful, and she's just so sweet. She loves kids. That's of course her favorite. But it's like everybody here, pit bull and Rottweiler, and just gets just so scared. But she's the sweetest dog ever. But yeah, that's how we got on TikTok. Really because of her. I got a lot of like promo deals. I got a lot of free stuff. It's still like kind of coming in. It slowed down because
Word.
I've slowed down with posting, because when life be life and you just got to take a break from everything.
Yes.
So yeah, but they're still like coming in here to there. She got some free toys from it's not BarkBox. What is it? It's something. I think it was BarkBox. It's some dog company, child. They had sent. We had did a review. Oh, Bully Box. I'm so sorry. Love Bully Box, but we had did a promo video from them on my TikTok, and she got like free toys, free treats, all of that. So yeah, that's where it started.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so all right, so we viral. You got so you majority hang out at TikTok. You
Hmm.
know, we want people to follow you. We want people to know more about Kayla's world, what you got going on. So where can we find you? And for my listeners who may be dealing with the same thing you dealing with,
Hmm.
if you're open to it, can you share the support group that you're a part of? So where can we find you and where's the support group for our people that are suffering in silence?
Okay. Well, you can mainly find me on TikTok and Instagram. Both handles are the same at kaay.jpg. Um, the support group is actually on Facebook. My mom added me to it. It's called like cyclic vomiting syndrome supporters or support or something like that. I will have to go grab it. But I'll share it with you, and then you can share it with the audience, or or whoever follows me. I'm willing to post it on my Instagram story, or on my TikTok. Because I was actually, I told you yesterday about, I wanted to bring more awareness to this. I was actually considering, just talking about it more. I mainly be on Instagram and TikTok. They both have the same handle. It's kaay.jpg. The support group is actually on Facebook. It's called like cyclic vomiting syndrome supporters or support. My mom actually invited me, so I can just ask her. But if whoever follows me, I'll be glad to post it on my Instagram story. Or I wanted to. I actually told you yesterday I wanted to bring more awareness to it, like speak on it more. So I was thinking, considering just doing that on my TikTok, just because that's where most of my followers, if not all my followers, are. But I have like,
Mhm.
a lot on Instagram too, but like on TikTok, it's about like 28,000 there. So,
Caleb, let me tell you, I'm big into supporting people and speaking into people. And I believe, seriously, and I've told you this, make that your platform, and baby, you will soar. You will be so shocked in how 1 minute you thought you had your life planned out, and then you decide to do something different, and how it will pretty much change the direction of your life in a positive way. You already have people following you from being a dog mom. Can you imagine the positive things that you're doing? Because we know people in your age group, they doing whatever they want to do or doing what they can do for attention. But if you
mhm.
could be the positive speck in something that people don't know about or they don't want to talk about, because we talked about this, some people are embarrassed to say this stuff. If you say that you have something that's not well known, you know how many people will laugh at you or disregard it, like, oh girl, like you said, even doctors, well, that's because you smoking. No, so if you take this to TikTok, I'm going to encourage the listeners to follow this young lady because she doing a damn thing. Um, we almost at 30, and this has been such a great and informative episode. I cannot wait till people can hear it and share it and just kind of get together and make a conversation piece out of it. But before we wrap up, number one, I really want to thank you, and I want to thank your mommy, Lisa. Thank you so much for this gem of a woman right here. I mean, she's going places, and I'm so glad that I had the opportunity to see it happening. Okay. So we're going to end it with this, and you know it's coming. Who is your goat and why?
um, my goats, greatest person of all time. It has to be Meg the Stallion. Like, I know it probably sounds cliche, but I just got so much respect for her. She's so inspirational, especially with this last project, Cobra, that she just dropped. Like, how I tell you, sometimes the chronic illness can go into like a mental effect or whatever. She says like everything that I've been through, wanted to go through, whatever, in the song. So it's just she just I don't know. I just feel so relatable to her. Not even because of the song, because before that, like whatever gets thrown her way, she still just keeps pushing. She still, you know, and she admits when she's hurt or depressed of just not right mentally. So it's like she's open and honest and raw and genuine. So I don't know. She's just an inspiration to me. I always loved Meg ever
And
since she was on that. Yeah.
I can really honestly see her being that. I think that um, the space that she's in doesn't celebrate her enough. Now, I'm not going to say I listen to her wholeheartedly, but what I can say is that young lady, since she started out, has been an open book. She talked about losing her mom and how her mom pretty much, encouraged her into the rapping industry. She's lost people, and yet she's kept going. Then she was in school. Now, these are the things that don't really get highlighted
Oh yeah.
about
Shout out
Meg
to
the
Texas
Stallion.
Southern.
Come on, right. Shout out. This girl continued to go to school because at the end of the day, she's already saying, I think she wants to open up healthcare centers or
Mm-hmm.
whatever have you. On top of that, getting chewed up by the industry. Then she had this allegation go on with Tory Lanez and losing her friend because her friend was just like, hey, I'm a side with whatever's hot. That's a lot to take on and still get up, do her job, which is to entertain. And yet she's going through her thing. So I can really honestly see how she is an inspiration because she just not out here pop it, lock and drop. And she's actually trying to, carve her own ways. And she got them knees, baby, because let me tell you, I swap with
Yeah.
her just for a good drop every now and again. I swap with them knees. So,
Yeah,
um,
she just has like she went through a lot. And I think the fact that she went through all that, like without her mom, just makes her strong off bat because it's just like, I don't know. I couldn't, every time it's an inconvenience, or even if it's the smallest thing irritate me, I'm calling my mama. So
mm-hmm,
I just couldn't imagine just going through that. And then it's like, what makes the project so special to me, at least, is because, yeah, everybody's saying like she sexualized the video, even though she's talking about depression. But it's like, that's what y'all see her as, or that's how y'all hear her. So she was delivering the message in the tone that y'all hear her in.
mm-hmm.
So it was just, yeah, I just love her all the way around. And she graduated from Texas Southern, where I got my master's from. So
She did. See,
yeah.
I can see why, because the things that you stated is her as a person. You talked about you gave her an identity, and I did hear that Cobra was off the chain. So I'll have
Hmm.
to peek in. So Kayla, before we wrap this up, and you've already shared your beautiful story, your journey, your testimony, pretty much is what it is. What is something that you want the listeners to take away?
Um, Overall, just in general, just give people grace, just because you never know what someone is going through behind closed doors. Because people that know me know I'm very extroverted, very just every time you see me, I got a smile on my face, want to party, want to twerk, want to turn up. But no one would have known all of this if I would never just said it. So I'm not like I'm open right now, but like if somebody was to text me and ask me what's wrong, I'm not gonna be that open about it. So I would just say give people grace overall. And as far as the sickness, just don't be scared to ask questions instead of like steering away from it, or just always ask questions about stuff that y'all don't understand. Like, don't just because someone smokes weed, especially with this sickness, just because someone smokes weed doesn't mean that that's why they got the sickness. I should
Mhm.
have said that first because that's a big one. So maybe I just said like four things. I'm sorry.
No, and don't apologize for that. I mean, this is your platform, and you bringing awareness. And like you said, it is. I wanted to touch lightly on that because I've been hearing a lot about it. It is a disease that the weed smokers, and I heard it's terrible. Like, once they get high, they are throwing up, and they are dealing with some similar things. But
Mhm.
it's a different space, and it does make you feel better. So
Mhm.
whatever you said, remember we talked about this. It was meant for people to hear, and I really want to again give you your flowers because this is not a space that everybody can openly talk about. If it's, again, I'm going to repeat myself, if it's not a popular disease, then it does get kicked to the side. You know, it
Mhm.
does make people mimic and laugh, or, it doesn't make you feel comfortable saying, hey, look, this is what it is, but I'm dealing with it. So I applaud you because I don't know at 26 if this is something that I was dealing with, I would be able to position myself to talk about it. So don't ever stop using your voice because when I tell you it's going to open doors for you, you're going to be standing in front of people, Kayla. You're going to be telling people, look, this is what it is. And I definitely am already applauding you for that. So, for my listeners, thank you so much for rocking with us. Miss Kayla has given her platforms for you all to go and support her. End up in her inbox, ask her some questions. If it's something that you even think you might have, you know, you're
Mhm.
not alone. So, and this is what she's saying. Reach out to her. Don't start talking crazy though. Okay, y'all, just don't. But end up in her inbox and she can tell you the things that she has experienced. So maybe you won't have to. So again, for my listeners, thank you for rocking with me. We all know Keisha's been dealing with a smidgen of technical difficulties, and that's okay. That's all right. I embrace it. So you all just take it with a grain of salt too. So until the next time, we got a hot episode coming up Friday, and you guys do not want to miss that. But until the next time, keep rocking with Put Your Phone Down podcast. I got my girl, Kayla Marie, 26 years old, just getting the world started, y'all, and just continue to lift her up in prayer. You guys, thank you again for listening to Put Your Phone Down podcast, and you'll be hearing from me Friday. Peace out.